Alright guys, welcome to Quantum Web, and in this video we're going to be talking about ENI, which stands for Elastic Network Interface. So what is an ENI? By the way, this is the ENI logo from AWS. So what is an ENI? An ENI is nothing else but a virtual network card. This is a physical network card that can be found inside a computer, a laptop, a server, and pretty much any other device that can be connected to the internet. Okay, an ENI is nothing else but a virtual network card that lives inside the cloud. Simple as that. Now, what does a physical networking card holds, or it has? It has these information inside it, okay, which is MAC addresses, private IP4 addresses, elastic IPs, IP6 addresses, security groups, and also source and destinations. Now, what does ENI hold inside it? It holds the same thing. Okay, that's why I said it's nothing else but a virtual physical card. Simple as that. We don't have to make it complicated at all. Now, with that being said, let's go to our hands-on. So, as you guys can see, I'm inside my AWS console, and I'm going to go to EC2 services here. Now I'm going to click on Launch Instance, and I'm going to go with Launch without a walkout. Right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two instances just to show you how it works, and I'm going to name them Instance A, and then later on I can rename them. So, and for instance type, I'm going to go with T3 micro, and we don't need a key pair. We don't really need any of these. What we do need is that we do need to allow auto assign public IP, so it's enabled here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're going to go with launch instance. Proceed with that one, launch instance. There you go. I'll go to my instances tab. And as you guys can see, they're both running. So we'll wait for the status checks to pass, and I'll resume the video again. All right, as you guys can see, our status check has been passed. And one more thing I forgot to tell you guys about ENI is that ENIs are detachable and movable, meaning you can detach it from one EC2 instance and then you can attach it to another one. And that's the whole purpose of why we use ENIs. So for an example, if let's say this is my EC2, right? I'm going to give you guys an example. So this is my server or EC2 instance, and I'm going to call it A here. And it is working fine and all that, but all of a sudden we face some kind of a problem here, right? This is a problem, by the way, and I'm going to write down error here. So, and we face some kind of a problem. Now, instead of making a new EC2 instance from like scratch, okay, this is going to be my new EC2 instance. I'm going to name it B. Instead of made it from scratch, then we have to go through network configuration and all that stuff, which is going to take us a long time. So instead of that, what we can do is we can detach the ENI that we had inside this instance, and then we can attach it to the new instance that we created. And just like that, it's going to save us a lot of time. And yeah, ENIs are used for network failovers. So this is the whole purpose of it. And one more thing which is important is that they work in the same availability zone. So if our instance A was in, let's say, US East 1, then our instance B needs to be in US East 1 in order for us to detach our ENI from instance A and then attach it to instance B. And that's pretty much everything about ENIs. So let's go back to our hands-on. Now, as you guys can see, they're both running. I'm going to rename the second one as instance B here. And there we go. Now, if I go to the networking tab and if I scroll down a little bit, as you guys can see, it has an ENI here. Okay. And one more thing. Now, if I scroll down a little bit here and go to the network interfaces tab, as you guys can see, we'll have two of these ENIs here. They're created by default and they're both in use. They're created by default as soon as we create an EC2 instance. And like I said, they're created by default by AWS itself. Now what we can do is we can create our own manual network interface, and we can write a description here for it. I'm going to say for YouTube, okay, for YouTube, and we need to select a subnet for this as well. I already have one called for ENI, and there is that, and then we have to go with the option that says assign out, so assign IPv4, and that's pretty much it. And then what we can do is we can just simply create this. Yeah, I do need to select a security group for inbound and outbound rules. So I'm just going to go with the default one and then just simply click on create network interface. Okay, so this one that we created is manually, the one that we created manually is, as you guys can see, it says available. It's not in use because, like I said, these two are only, the status says in use because when we made these EC2 instances, those ENIs were created by default for these two instances. So for an example, if our instance B goes through some changes and also errors and stuff and is shutting down or whatever, all in all, what I'm trying to say is that we can't really use this anymore, then we already have instance A, right? So what we can do is, instead of creating a new instance and going through networking configuration manually and creating it from scratch, what we can do is we can simply attach the manual ENI that we created to this instance, okay? And it's going to save us so much time. So yeah, let's do this. I'm going to go to network interfaces, and this is the manual one that we created, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to actions, and then I'm going to click on attach, and right here I'm going to choose my VPC, which is this one, and then I'm going to choose an instance. So I said instance B is going through errors and stuff, so we're going to attach the same network configuration to instance A. So I'm going to click or select my instance A, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to click on attach, and it will be attached within a minute. So yeah, as you guys can see, successfully attached, and yeah, it should now say in use, as it does. So yeah, this is pretty much everything you need to know about ENIs. And now if I terminate both these instances, I'll show you something really cool here. I'm going to terminate these instances. It'll take a minute for them to terminate. I'm going to keep on refreshing for a minute. All right, as you guys can see, they're both terminated. Now, if I go to my network interfaces, you'll see I only have one. The other ones that was created by default by AWS, they're gone with the EC2 instances, right? But the manual one that we created is still here. That's the thing about ENIs. And by the way, you can leave it as it is. It doesn't cost any money, but if you want, you can also delete them as well. Like I said, it doesn't cost any money, but if you want to delete them, then this is how you can delete these ENIs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something new. And if this video was helpful, make sure to leave a sub and like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.